my fellow flacks and spin doctors. Salute.
Oliver Trinke was on his way to the top.
George Michael is all about the ladies. I want your sex? That sound like he's singing to a guy?
He had everything he could ever want until everything changed.
Your daddy really misses your mommy, kid. I miss her too, especially right now. Oh, shit.
Doing Jersey Girl was kind of way different for me than doing the Jay and Bob's or the Dogma or Chasing Amy or Clerks or Mallrats.
Why did you tell me you had sex with 3 different guys?
Because I did only have sex with 3 different guys. That doesn't mean I didn't just go with people.
Oh my God, I feel so nauseous.
I wasn't working with Annette. On the other movies, post-Clerks, I was always working with Annette, so I was always throwing characters that had popped up in the first movie, like Jay and Bob were in each of the movies that followed Clerks.
The buzz is any indicator, that movie's gonna make some huge bank.
What buzz?
The internet buzz.
What? Hey, can't we do something about those 2 stoners hanging around outside the store all the time?
Days of Jay and Bob are, I think, are over. His writing's changed as he's gotten older. I mean, now he's a husband and a father, and all of those things are going to affect what ultimately comes out.
In terms of the tone of the movie or its emotional depth, it's not really that removed from Chasing Amy.
Hey, lady, my Cabbage Patch!
Well, if it isn't Blunt Man himself, or should I call you Chronic?
Call me flattered. I heard you sent me the invite to this little soiree.
From a former hometown girl to Mr. Hometown himself.
What, you're saying you're from the burbs?
Middletown, New Jersey.
Get out of here, I'm from Highlands.
I know, Hooper told me.
How is it that we never ran into one another?
Did you graduate from Hudson?
Yeah, 88.
I went to North.
What a small world.
Between Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob, he had been writing a few things, and he had this was something he was messing around with.
Jersey Girl kind of occurred to me after I had a kid. And the first 50 pages flowed out in about maybe 2 hours, something like that. And then I sat on it for a year or more.
Well, I talked to Kevin, I don't remember exactly when, and I was saying, you ought to do something like Chasing Amy. We had a great time. It was a movie that had heart.
He kept bugging me to write something. I was like, well, dude, one of us won an Oscar for writing, so maybe you should write something.
And he sometimes says that it's because of that conversation, and sometimes denies it, but anyway, subsequent to that, he sent me some pages.
So I sent him over the 50 pages, and he called me up, and he's like, finish, love it, finish, yes, let's do it.
Please keep working on this. I'd love to do it. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it.
So then I went back to work on it, and a month later, I had a finished draft. Jersey Girl is a story of Oliver Trinke, who's a really good publicist living in New York City, and he's met this woman of his dreams. They get married, and in childbirth, she dies.
I looked at Gertie as like an angel, you know what I mean? Who was like, her purpose was to come into his life, give him this daughter, and then her time was over. Like the minute she sees him, she knows, oh, this is my destiny.
And so by falling in love, this character who's been, very work-oriented, his priorities shift more towards his daughter.
Oh, Fresh Prince is on his way.
Will someone please shut that girl up?
Would you people just shut the hell up?
He loses his job and he's kind of forced to move back in with his father in New Jersey, played by George Carlin, and he's sort of settling into being a single father.
I don't want no whores in my house.
I'm not really a whoremonger, Dad. When I first started writing the script, I didn't know that Ben would be into it. Because I was in that mindset, because I had a kid, and I had a wife, and Affleck has no kid, so I didn't know that he'd be up for it. But he kind of responded to those pages so enthusiastically that he just kind of became the guy for me.
There was something real underneath it that was not just funny and not just cute or, interesting intellectually, but heartfelt about it.
That dude would scoop up anyone's kids left and right. Had no fear. Just pick it up, woo, and sit there and play with them and stuff like that. Man, he was absolutely fearless. And he's a pretty big dude, big hand, so I guess he, felt meaty enough to, that the kid wasn't going anywhere.
You ready? I'm ready to go.
I couldn't be bothered. I had a kid, The amusement had been worn off for me years prior.
Incidentally, she's been asking me when she's gonna grow boobies, like yours.
Oh, my God.
She's 7, okay?
Well, if you want, I can give her the old booby talk my mom gave me when I was a kid.
Stay away from my kid.
Of all the actors I've worked with, I have a special chemistry with Ben, and I really feel comfortable with him. It's something that's sort of unspoken that I just feel like we really understand each other in it. But he's the one that usually ad-libs the most, and I just laugh at his jokes.
He's really nice to work with as a father. He's like really nice.
Talk to me, Goose.
And me and him are like so happy like that we're working with each other. What does yours look like?
Gertie, time for Brian to go home. Obviously, you have to try to relate to what your character's going through, and so this has made me think a lot about what it would mean to be a father and to try to imagine that.
What are your intentions?
Huh?
What are your intentions with my daughter? Do you plan on marrying her?
I don't know.
Okay, Brian, you can go now. Come back with a ring.
Yes, Mr. Trinky. Bye, Gertie. Bye.
Goodbye, Brian. Okay. Do you have any questions about what you saw?
Can we rent a movie?
Yes.
When we were doing the kitchen scene, Ben put pasta or something like that, and he put it in the stove, and the stove was actually on. He leaned back and he burned his butt. He's like, "Cut! I burned my butt!"
We'll pick out something from the children's section.
All those movies suck.
Watch your language.
Dirty Dancing.
We meet Liv Tyler's character, Maya, at a video store, and she kind of becomes this fast friend of Ollie's, and the first woman to kind of enter his life since his wife.
When was the last time you had sex?
7 years.
7 years?
Since my wife died, yeah.
He's understandably reluctant about getting into a relationship because he feels his baggage from his dead wife.
With all due respect to your wife, you gotta get back on the horse, man. I think the presence that Maya brings to him is just the thing of like, what you have here and now is really incredible, and you probably don't need any more, and what you think you had isn't maybe as great. Like, maybe you're not that guy anymore.
Oh, it was me. It's me with my own apartment, me richer, me with more self-respect.
Like it or not, this is you. I mean, forget about what you thought you were and just accept who you are.
Liv was one of the only actors or actresses I ever worked with who says dialogue exactly as written on the page. Didn't change a word, and created a brand new character, one very different from the one I saw when I was writing it.
I'll just take this. Go ahead and put it in the bag.
She played her as kind of geeky, awkward, and sweet and adorable.
Bye Bye Guys, featuring Curious Geordie.
And it made more sense.
Interesting choice.
But didn't change a word to do it. You know, it's just in her delivery and her demeanor.
Hi, Maya. Nice to meet you. I felt personally like he gave me a lot of freedom to go to town. Like, for some reason, when we started doing the scenes, like, I just became so goofy. It was ridiculous. And I kept doing this thing where I was sort of like laughing at my own jokes and stuff. And I don't know where, it was like I was channeling some other person. It just kind of happened. You do eat lunch when you're not knee-deep in adult movies, right? And it was so ridiculous, but I think he kind of liked it, so he just kind of went with that.
Buying me one lunch is gonna square you with Krishna?
Hurry, hurry.
I don't know, it was kind of geeky in a cool way, particularly for a chick. And I thought that was adorable. I thought that was the key to the character. And I was always riding her the whole movie about doing it after almost every line. And she was like, well, doesn't it lose its effectiveness after a while? I said, I don't know, I think it's cute.
I was thinking maybe like the diner around noon.
No.
Noon it is. See you there. Bye.
An incredibly strange woman.
When we were looking for little Gertie, Raquel came in, and she did her little audition and stuff. She wasn't overly sweet or, you know, sickeningly cute. She seemed like a real little kid.
There's gonna be this big show at school, and all the people have to sing a song with people from their family.
First of all, it's like, oh my God, how old are you? She just seems so smart and grown up, and she's so sassy.
Anything you want. Go nuts.
Here.
Sweeney Todd?
Toby!
Coming! Excuse me.
Ale there.
Right, Mom.
Quick now.
God, that's good.
She worked so hard. I mean, she came to set, she knew all her lines inside and out, and she was a brilliant listener. I just thought she really brought something really fresh and really nice. And she's just adorable. I really enjoyed getting to work with her.
What are you trying to get killed?
The Bart and Ollie relationship's almost as central as the Ollie and little Gertie relationship. Because you're telling the story of two fathers at the same time.
It cannot work like this, I'm sorry. This is no way to run a show. You can see that there's a love underneath all of the, not true bickering, but playful sort of an exchange of wise guy attitudes. Kid gets this.
That's cute. 8 o'clock. You both get a bottle.
Yeah, just shut the hell up and go be a father, would you please?
When I was writing Jersey Girl, I was writing with George in mind, because I was, always been a big fan of George's day job, of course.
Got no steel industry left, can't get health care our old people, can't educate our young people, but we can bomb the out of your country, all right?
His sense of humor, intelligence, thought-provoking. It was kind of stuff that you really had to kind of think about.
Well, when's the last white people you can remember that we bombed? Can you remember the last white? Can you remember any white people we've ever bombed?
So I think he relished the opportunity to actually stretch and be dramatic and try other stuff rather than just being the funny guy. There's this moment that George has at the end of the movie where he doesn't cry, doesn't get mawkish, doesn't get maudlin, no single Demi Moore and Ghost-like tear rolling down his cheek. But he just gets a little glassy-eyed when he says something to Ben.
You had me worried there for a minute.
Yeah, who knew all those years you were nursing a case of stage fright?
Not about that, smartass. About the other thing. About moving away.
Come on, Dad. Don't you want to live alone again?
Not as much as I don't want to die alone.
And it's very reminiscent of my dad, because my dad could be an emotional guy, but very reserved like that when it came to pouring out one's heart and whatnot.
Go, George.
My dad died about 9 months ago, and I was always really kind of regretful that I never got to put my dad before the camera.
You gonna do anything while I'm gone? Stay the hell off of my bed.
But I'm thankful I didn't lose my dad until after the movie was done, and he got to see it. So that was pretty awesome, the fact that he was able to check out the movie before he checked out. But once he passed, it just became something I just had to dedicate the movie to him, right?
Hey, Mark. The history that I have with Kevin makes it nice, and we sort of share a particular kind of sense of humor.
That's a lot.
By the same token, it's really exciting to work with a guy so many times and to see him reach and break new ground and try to do something that he's never done before and to be a part of that. It's sort of like taking a trip to a place you've never been with an old friend.
Kevin's scripts are so detailed and everything's really there. And you feel like he's already directed the movie and in the writing of the screenplay, and you really follow that.
This is more like the Chasing Amy film for Kevin. So it's not quite in the slacker mall rat kind of guys who he understands very well. So this is part of his more human side.
I would love to make Jay and Bob movies till the end of the time. But at the end of the day, you just kind of gotta go with your gut and make the movie you want to make. And this was the movie that at this particular time in my life, I felt like I had to make.
Kevin was just like, dude, if I'm wearing the Silent Bob coat when I'm 40, he wanted me to shoot him, so I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to have to commit murder, and I don't think he wants to die, so we just decided to, end it there.
The movie is like, I'm the Jersey Girl, so it's really about me, but like it's about the other people because they're like, it's about the other people too, but it's mostly about me. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I need to tell the truth.
Jersey Girl is about how we come to learn what's important.
Well, I guess the movie's about a man appreciating the miracle of having a child and how incredibly blessed we are to have that at all, because some people don't have that.
Thank you, Daddy.
The movie is about a guy who ultimately, finds out how important family is and what that means.
It has a wonderful romantic story, and it has dramatic turns.
I mean, I don't know how else to describe it except that it's insanely heartwarming. It's a tough movie not to love. You gotta be a total jaded prick not to like this movie on some level. I wish they would put that on the poster, and I asked them to and they wouldn't do it. They went with some other tagline, but I thought mine was better. You have to be a total jaded prick not to like this movie. but I don't think that'll wind up on the poster.
I'm home!
Hi, honey.
What are your intentions? Do you plan on marrying him?